Always a very exciting day for us at the Indiana State Fair, the day that we get to unveil this year's cheese sculpture. So for 18 years we've worked with Sarah Kaufmann and this year Nancy Baker on creating this masterpiece out of cheese. So there are a lot of avenues that we like to take as we represent Indiana dairy farm families of how to educate consumers. And I think this is one of the most impactful ways at the State Fair when you come and you look over this year in the brand new cheese cooler and see 1,400 pounds of cheese carved into something that, you know, if you know anything about art, you probably know who Mona Lisa is, and you've probably seen the American Gothic painting, but this year to see how Sarah and Nancy put a cheesy twist to it, don't mind my pun, I think, you know, you're going to walk away being like, that was pretty cool.
Hi there, I'm Sarah Kaufmann, the cheese sculptor, and we're at the Indiana State Fair cheese carving, excitedly in our very brand new state-of-the-art cooler. And we have our 1,300 pounds of beautiful Indiana cheddar that I've cut and chunked and stacked in here. I think you can see behind me is the Mona Lisa, and we'll explore her later. This is the 17th year at the Indiana State Fair for the cheese sculptor. And me, I've been doing it for, 17 years. The cheese sculpture just keeps getting better and better and more intricate. I love to add the coloring, but this is the big year at the fair because of our new state-of-the-art cooler.
It's always fun, you know, we start out today, Sarah and Nancy had a late night last night putting in those last minute details into the cheese, and we wonder if anybody's really going to show up for a noon unveiling on a random Wednesday at the State Fair, but soon enough it's packed. And what's really fun is to see the kids out here just so excited to see an unveiling of a cheese sculpture. We have cheese samples for people to try out, so it's always, you know, you never know what's going to be going on at the State Fair, but we're always really happy when it's noon, the cheese sculpture is being unveiled, and people can really take a look at how much detail, how much time and effort goes into this cheese sculpture. It really is a really proud representation of just, you know, what cheese can do, not only for your diets, but, you know, to have a little fun with things as well.
You may wonder why I work with cheese. Well, I'm from Wisconsin. I'm a cheesehead. It just comes naturally. And I used to work for the dairy farmers of Wisconsin as their artist and would then sculpt cheese there. And many years later, when I left the company, they hired me freelance to carve cheese for them. And here I am, 25 years later, and I'm still sculpting cheese. I love it. I think the biggest thing is, with all of the planning and estimating and doing the drawings, the best part is actually digging in and carving. And I spend hundreds of hours. This sculpture at this point is 250 hours of cheese sculpting. Luckily, brilliantly, I have an associate, a partner in crime that I now carve with. And that's made things more fun and much more interesting.
The cheese sculpture wouldn't be possible without our friends at Pace Dairy and Kroger who donate the cheese every year. They never know how much cheese we're going to ask, and you know, for 1,400 pounds of cheese to be donated, it's a pretty big feat. It comes in these really cool blocks, and to see it go from blocks of cheese that are typically cut down and shred into cheese that we buy at the store, to seeing it truly become a work of art, we wouldn't be able to do it alone. And you know, this year we had a lot of our Indiana dairy farmers on hand to see just, you know, what we do as an organization to represent them, but also for them to meet Sarah and tell her thank you for coming out from different states. Her and Nancy don't live in Indiana, so the travel time that it takes to put this together, it's all really neat to see everything come together.
As we get into the sculpture right away, we're meeting Mona Lisa. This is a pun on the fair's theme this year, which is the art and nature of fun. But well, we're just taking art and making fun of art and incorporating our dairy in here that we always do. You can see here's the milkshake for the fair this year is blueberry, so of course we had to put that. Mona Lisa's winking at us. That's wonderful fun detail. She loves her ice cream and cheese and yogurt and milk, and her very cheesy frame. We love that. The fun of it is putting these little teasers in here and the little subtleness, the subtleties that bring dairy to mind without pushing it in your face. Then we support our theme here, the art of fun, and had a lot of fun with this, is stacking up as high as we could go. We top it off with our crown of milk with the splashes in the straw. We got butter, and this is our paint palette of all the different colors of ice cream and strawberry syrup here. We're gonna continue this afternoon and add more detail and more fun here. Probably black and white spots because of the dairy cow. Over here, our next fun with art is American cowlick. Play on, of course, American Gothic, but look at our dairy farmers. They're smiling. Normally they're very stoic. Well, guess what? They have ice cream and they're cow-licking the ice cream. But who do you see in the window there doing a photo bomb but Buttercup, the cow. She's our mascot and I love her. And there she is. She popped in and we didn't even know she was there. But she doesn't want to ever miss being in a cheese sculpture. These are frames, as you see, just like a framed painting. Both of these are framed, and we have our paint brushes and paint tubes squirting out yogurt and flavors and colors and however crazy twists we can think of after 250 hours. That's when the real sparkle happens. I know, let's put a straw in the milk bottle up there. I know, we need butter. So that's really the fun, is these last days of adding all this detail.
I think for the American Dairy Association Indiana, we know that when the month of August is here, we've got a pretty big job to do at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Between the dairy bar that's been around since 1941, started out as a milk stand, and now 10 windows that are pretty busy from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. with grilled cheese, ice cream, milk, and then you come down here to the Mercantile Building and see a cheese sculpture. It's all those different ways that it's like, if you're going to the state fair, we want people to experience new food and to be able to tell their friends and family back home of what they did. And so I think any way that we can also insert that dairy messaging and let people know why we're here and why it's important to our Indiana dairy farm families, to let them know that there's a farmer in their community and they're the ones behind why we do what we do. It makes every August, it's a hot month, but it's worth it each and every year.